Hello and welcome to the LendAPI Partner Podcast. Today, my guest is Anna Burke, Head of Growth at Equabli. Welcome to the podcast, Anna.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Now, how did Equabli get started?
So, Equabli was born out of one of the largest debt buyers in the world. So, the former exec team there, CEO, CFO, approached our now CEO, who's also an alumni himself, with an idea of creating an integrated platform to help address all of the fragmentation in the collections and recovery industry. And really just like a general lack of innovation in that space. So they, approached him with this concept of trying to fill this innovation gap by creating something that connected lenders, banks with their collections and recovery partners. And so there was really a lack of visibility. And so they wanted to create this ecosystem with more visibility and control for the lender. And then by getting that broader view, taking those insights and using them to build smarter strategies to manage consumer delinquency. And so the underlying motivation was to create better, more equitable outcomes for both lenders and borrowers. And so that's kind of the genesis of our name, Equabli, which almost no one can pronounce. But, really by aligning like down to the individual account or borrower level, the next best action for resolution. And so that's now evolved into 3 distinct products that support, multiple use cases, but all with the goal of optimizing the treatment of accounts as they flow through the later stages of delinquency and charge-off.
That's very interesting. So your management actually knew the problem, realized that it was hard to innovate in this area, and actually gave the special task, go innovate in this space and make things better.
They had felt the pain, and so they knew that there was a need as former operators.
That is always a great starting point for any business. If you know what the problem is and in your mind you see, hey, this could be the solution for it, that is always a great starting point. Now, what is the number one use case that Equabli solves for?
So at like a blanket or overarching level, it's really collections optimization. And so there's different ways of doing that, but all of our tools are built to create efficiency, which is generate some combo of, cost savings and revenue lift, which is especially challenging in like a highly regulated and also sort of contentious space like collections. We like to joke that collections is the hardest sales job on earth, where you're trying to get people to pay you for stuff they already have. And so we help lenders by aligning these different solutions for them. So whether we're doing some bespoke scoring and segmentation model designed to predict risk or borrowers' propensity to repay, or we're deploying a SaaS tool that helps a lender connect with more of their borrowers, build more engagement for less cost. We're really like applying this core competency in the data and analytics space and taking this data-driven approach to helping lenders build more efficiency into their credit cycle, protect their assets, retain those assets, navigate complex regulations, reduce costs in doing so.
Because obviously we always start with the happy path in mind of, like, hey, we're giving a loan out and people are going to pay us back. But there are things that happen and not everyone lives up to that commitment. Then, of course, collections comes into play.
It, used to be a lot of lenders talking about trying to perfect their underwriting model, but there is no perfect underwriting model. And I think we're seeing now, like more than ever, that, you have to close the back door. There's always going to be delinquencies. And so the better you manage, the better that serves the whole ecosystem.
That makes total sense. Not the first thing that comes to mind, but a very important part, right? Because obviously it impacts your margins, and the better you do that, the better your business overall runs. Now,
Exactly.
can you tell me your favorite customer story?
Well, I have to start by saying we love all of our customers so much. One of my favorites is we have a, I'll say beloved COO that we've worked with for a while. So he brought us into his last company, big subprime lender, to help them reduce charge-offs. That was his big goal. So he engaged us for analytics and said, help me predict my roll risk and help me build strategies to better serve my delinquent borrower population, reduce charge-offs. So we did that. It was successful, caught the attention of their chief risk officer, who said, hey, do you think you can build something, bring this upstream for me? And mind you, we have like the latest stage analytics intelligence, debt buyer, post charge off, all of that. And so we said, sure, let's try. So we started piloting a model to predict delinquency on their active accounts. So as early as 1 day post origination, can we predict a borrower's risk of delinquency? And then how do we help them build proactive strategies around that? And so successful pilot. During that time, our CEO ended up moving over to another lender. And so his first call when he got there was to us, saying, immediately using his capital to bring us in. He said, I need you to help me fix this. And this time we want to use the whole Equabli suite. Like, we've seen what you can do. And so, of course, that's flattering, but it's also such a validating reference point for the power of the work that we're doing. And we're grateful to clients who trust us to help them disrupt a little bit in a space that's like generally sort of neglected. People do things how they do things, and they always have.
That is very powerful when someone not only works with you at the company that they're at, but that it's one of the first things that when they go to another company, they go like, hey, I was so happy with that solution. I need to bring it in here right away. That is a very good story and a testament to what you guys are doing at Equabli. So that is probably a great point to wrap up today's episode. Thank you very much, Anna, for being on the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
And until the next episode of the LendAPI, a partner podcast.